All right, welcome back, everyone, to Iranian Things.
Episode 31.
31, that's right. Wow.
Hard to believe, right?
It really is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Kiyumars,
And I'm Tanaz.
and we have been taking you on this journey through all things Iran. And recently, we've been exploring folklore, mythology, and even cryptozoology.
Which, as always, if you are new to this podcast or the idea of cryptozoology, it's basically just the study of creatures that haven't really been confirmed by science,
Yeah, so like your Bigfoots and your Loch Ness monsters and things of that nature.
but with a very distinct Iranian flavor.
Exactly, Iranian twist. And speaking of twists, today's topic is, it's really a spine tingler.
It is.
We are going to be diving deep into this concept of Khortlamesh.
Ooh, spooky.
I know, right? Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie.
It does, doesn't it? It's, Khortlamesh is actually a Turkish word.
Oh, okay, go.
And it basically translates to the revived dead or the awakened. And in Iranian folklore, it's connected to all these ideas about what happens after you die and the possibility of, like, coming back.
Coming back from the dead. Okay, so now you've got my attention.
Yes.
So tell me, how does this awakening play out?
So picture this. In the Hamedan region of Iran, there's this belief that the devil is just waiting around to possess the body of anyone who has been buried prematurely.
Oh, wow.
And so back in the day when there wasn't really a whole lot of medical knowledge, this wasn't like an uncommon fear.
Right, because, I mean, I could imagine,
Yeah.
in the past, if somebody had a stroke or was in a coma,
Exactly.
they may have seemed dead when they weren't.
Exactly. And they might have been buried alive.
Oh, that's terrifying. And you said this wasn't just a fear, this actually happened.
This did actually happen. And one
Wow.
of the reasons was they used to dig shallow graves.
Oh.
So if someone did happen to wake up, they might be able to like claw their way out.
So I can't even imagine, like, how horrifying that experience would have been to have been buried alive.
Awful.
But so how does this tie into the Khortlamesh? Did people understand what was happening?
Well, not really. And that's kind of where things take a turn. So instead of someone coming out of the grave and everyone being like, oh my gosh, you're alive, they were met with fear.
Right.
And they were met with violence because they were seen as this Khortlamesh, like they had been possessed by the devil or an evil spirit.
So wait, so instead of like helping these people, they would like attack them.
Yeah, they would stone them, which is like incredibly sad. And it shows you like how these cultural beliefs and these old practices and this fear of death and what comes after all kind of get mixed up together.
Right, because I mean that is kind of the ultimate unknown
Oh,
of death.
absolutely.
What happens after you die?
And I think for people, the idea of someone coming back from the dead, that just like messes with everything you think you know.
It challenges your whole worldview.
Totally. And so it's easier to just be like, oh, that's evil. We need to get rid of that.
Right. So, okay, so we've got this historical context of premature burials. We've got this cultural belief in the Khortlamesh. But, I mean, wouldn't there have been other ways of looking at this? Like, what if instead of seeing these people as, demonic, they saw them as being touched by, like, a different power?
That's actually a really interesting point, and you're probably right.
Okay.
So even though the main story about Khortlamesh is all about fear and possession, it makes sense that some people might have seen it differently. Maybe they thought, oh, this person is like spiritually strong, or they had a close call with like the divine,
Yeah.
or even like reincarnation. But sadly, we don't always hear those stories.
Right. It makes you wonder how much of what we know about history or folklore is just like one side of the story, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it really makes you think about how different things would be today. I mean, nowadays, doctors are really good at, knowing if someone's dead or not.
Right.
So what do you think would happen to the belief in Khortlamesh?
That's a really good question. I mean, part of me thinks that the fear would go away, right?
Right,
Because we have the science, we have the medicine to back it up.
right.
But then again, sometimes beliefs are really, really sticky, and they can change and adapt.
That's true.
And so maybe the idea of Khortlamesh would just change into something else.
Oh, interesting.
Right, like maybe it reflects our fears about, I don't know, technology or AI or even cloning.
That's a little creepy.
It is a little creepy, right? But it just goes to show these beliefs, they're powerful.
Yeah.
They really tap into our deepest fears and fascinations.
Totally. And they just stick with us no matter how much the world changes.
So I'm curious, what do you all think about this? I mean, has this deep dive into Khortlamesh given you any new ideas? And do you think that in modern society we are really free from these kinds of beliefs? Or have they just changed form? Leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep talking about this.
And until next time, keep exploring the world of Iranian things.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.